Hi, everyone. My name is Huntley Walters, and I'm a 2008 graduate of the Hill. I can't believe it's been 14 years since I graduated. That really dates me and makes me feel very old. But I want to thank Lindsay and Shelly for asking me to take part in Hill's Chapel Talk series. I feel really honored to have been asked to share my story with you all. With May being Mental Health Awareness Month, I thought I'd take the opportunity to talk about the importance of setting healthy boundaries and showing up for yourself, and just share a little bit about how I've been experiencing both of those things lately. Since the start of the pandemic over 2 years ago, I think so many of us have been struggling with our own mental health, whether it be feelings of isolation or anxiety about all of the unknowns, or just the awkwardness of relearning social skills after quarantine. There are so many things that go into how we show up for ourselves every day. And over the course of the last 2 years, I think so many of us have been in this mode of surviving, not thriving. It's been difficult, right, to process emotions because of so many unknowns going on in the world around us. And we feel this extreme grief over unmet expectations and things that we had envisioned for ourselves. We're juggling taking care of those around us who may be sick, meeting all of our work obligations, caring for young children, and being great partners, spouses, brothers, sisters, daughters, and sons, all while processing everything else that's going on in the world and juggling these very personal feelings that we have that are unique to our own situations. For me, I think my struggle and mental health journey really started about 8 months ago. I had just gotten a big promotion at work into people management. My 2-year-old son, Caleb, had just started daycare, and I was going through this massive feeling of guilt and anxiety about leaving him every day and being a working mom. Both of my grandparents' health started to massively deteriorate. My husband, Keith, and I had just lost one of our very close friends to cancer. And then I lost my second pregnancy at 10 weeks through a very difficult miscarriage. So all of a sudden, it felt like everything was hitting at the exact same time. And the weight that I felt on my shoulders was honestly pretty indescribable. I found myself just going through the motions every day and not taking the time I needed to process what was really going on in my life at that moment. I still felt this expectation to be everything to everybody. So, to be the best mother to my son and not grieve in front of him, to hold it together for my husband so that he knew I was strong, to be positive for my parents as they dealt with the stresses of their parents' health declining, and to not overburden my friends with what I was going through because I knew they also had things on their plate as well. Have always been someone who feels like they can be everything to everybody. So with holding a high stress corporate job, parenting a toddler, having all of my family live very close by, maintaining relationships with great friends near and far, I've always had this mentality that I should be able to do it all and be everything to everyone. There's this saying that you can't pour from an empty cup, and it wasn't until I experienced everything I have over the last year that I really started to understand what this meant. It started to resonate with me. There's a reason that whenever you're on an airplane, the flight attendant always tells you to put your mask on first before assisting others. And the reason for that is because if you're not breathing, how are you supposed to assist and help someone else around you? One of my favorite teachers at Hill, Mr. Ralston, always used to tell our sixth form class, take care of you. In the moment, I always felt this was a little bit naive and a nuance, like, yeah, well, I have a million things to do for other people right now. I can't just go take care of myself. But I really understand this now in the context of needing to be the best version of yourself in order to be there for others. Because if you're not putting in the work to take care of your own well being, you'll never be the best version of yourself for those that you care about. This notion of mental health in our day and age has been very stigmatized, but recently many figureheads have been at the forefront of this movement, showcasing just how important it is to check in on your own well-being. We saw Simone Biles walk out of the Olympic Games because she was so overwhelmed with the pressure and didn't want to let her teammates down. We've seen Hayden Panettiere be an advocate for postpartum depression. Kristen Bell open up about her struggles with extreme anxiety and depression in motherhood. Demi Lovato has also very publicly shared her story with mental illness and her experience with seeking treatment. There are so many resources and so many support systems out there to help put you in the mindset of rebuilding and prioritizing your mental health. Over the last year, there are two things that I've really tried to lean into, And I certainly haven't got this all figured out by any means, but I thought I'd share two pieces of my own personal puzzle with you. The first is understanding your common sources of stress. So, oftentimes, we're most stressed and anxious when we don't have control over our situations, when we're experiencing things that we just can't fix, like in my case, losing a close friend to cancer at a young age and losing a very wanted pregnancy. It almost feels like too much to bear. When you don't have control and you don't have an answer as to why things are going on around you, that's when you need to lean in the most to focus on those elements that you yourself do have control over. Embrace that pivot that life has thrown your way and concentrate your energy on the impact that you can make and not your circumstances. You'll find yourself going down this hole over and over and over again if you dwell on the cards you've been dealt instead of focusing on what you can control. The second thing I've been really focusing on is being fully present in the current moment. So, as much as I'd like to go back and change things that have happened, and as much as I'd like to look forward and know that things are going to work out the way that I want them to, I don't have control over that. So, there's no reason to not fully present in the moment because no amount of looking back is going to change the past, and no amount of stressing about if things will work out will change the future. There's a quote that I love by David Rass that reads, "It's not joy that makes us grateful, it is the gratitude that makes us joyful." So on the hard days, that is when it is most difficult to practice gratitude. We're angry, we're frustrated, we're anxious and upset. But if we can find just one piece of our puzzle that is coming together for us and focus our attention on that piece that we can control, that will help move us forward. I hope that if you're experiencing hardship or dealing with things that just feel too big right now, that you'll take the time to take care of yourself, put yourself first, and seek out the resources that you need to focus on what you can control and stay in the moment. Happy Mental Health Awareness Month, Phil.